So now we're gonna do the good old meatloaf. Where's the book that it came out of, Mom? Oh.
So you guys, okay, so this is from a book.
Well, actually, my mom says that she started doing this one because it, in the olden days, in the 70s, they always had the meatloaf on the back of the Quaker Oats box.
You always had Quaker Oats in the house because you were always making cookies, because the Quaker Oats went in. And so the meatloaf recipe was always on there, and it's not anymore. I always try to be faithful to the recipe the first time. That way you've got a base.
So anyway, this one is in the Quaker Oats favorite recipe collection book.
Oh my goodness.
That you got as a joke or something. Did you see this and you thought it would be funny that we had the book? And then it's got the prize-winning meatloaf in it.
And then if you don't like it, well, this needed less cheese, it needed more onion, it needed, and then
or like, oh, I don't
manipulate it after that.
I don't have, you know, ground beef, but I have turkey, so I'll substitute it. Or, you know, I don't have broccoli, but I have green beans, so you can substitute. So we're kind of more creative that way too.
So all this is a pound and a half of ground round.
Wow.
And I just bought whatever the leanest one was. I don't remember what the percentage. An egg. Onion.
Like a quarter cup?
You do a little bit more than that. Now this is different than the cookbook that we're using, but it's garlic and Worcestershire sauce.
About a clove and a half.
This is one of those little cans of tomato sauce.
Oh,
And this is the oats.
And salt and pepper.
I just put the salt and pepper in with the oats.
Some people use breadcrumbs to bind it.
And then you just whip it all up.
And you put it in a pre-greased pan. I picked it up, I didn't realize it was greased.
Well, and I've always been huge on recycling food. And sometimes I would fix something for the kids for dinner and they'd love it. And then they'd say, we're never going to have this again, are we?
No, it would be like a month or so later and I'd say, Mom, make that chicken stew. And she'd say, I have no idea how I did that.
Well,
that
what
was like 2 nights of dinner.
You take, you know, part of a meal that you had on Monday and part of a meal you had on Tuesday and it becomes a whole new thing. Well, in order to duplicate that again, you would have to have had the same meals in the same sequence and remember what you did. So there were times that it was a little disappointing if we hit upon something that was, wow, this was really good.
And then the trailer park part of it all that we have to do and we love is that you have to squirt ketchup on the top of it when it's baking.
The thing, when Lisa started coming home from college, it was the strangest phenomenon. She would ask for the trailer park food. We have never in this child's life lived in a trailer park. But I think that's a reference to the cheap food we used to eat when they were little.
She would make these pastry cup things that had like beef stroganoff or something in them. It was kind of like beef stroganoff-y, and then she would buy these like pastry cups and fill them, bake them, and then fill them with this.
That was a way to use up leftovers.
And I loved that. I loved that. And then she would make this chicken that she would make with frozen orange juice that I really liked. And I loved tuna casserole. But what were you telling me about Betsy? Betsy's Peg's mom. What were you telling me about Betsy's cooking? That she was making expensive foods that you couldn't afford to make or something like that.
Right. My mom was raised in Minnesota. She'd always take on things that were a challenge. And she did, I can remember some of her standard meals were like Welsh rarebit, which is some glorified cheese on crispy toast.
Made with beer or something.
Well, and she absolutely loved caviar, and she would keep caviar in our refrigerator and try and get me to eat it on toast. And I can just remember having weird things served to me where I really would have liked to have cereal. And, you know, but she always, she was a little bit eccentric to where you just never knew. And that's it. Other than Lisa put the finishing touch on that with the ketchup. You have to have ketchup.
So you put it on before.
So anyway, we kind of had a clash of cultures when they put this plate in front of me and I thought I was going to faint. At home I cook a lot of Asian. And I think we do food from all over the world.
Yeah, I've been doing my theme dinners this year. So I did Cuban theme and I did Mediterranean theme. And next on the list is Italian. My mom has a great lasagna recipe. Okay, so that's finished now, and then you put it in the oven and you bake
cook
it
it for an hour.
For an hour.